Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Hey, we got a lot of work today, okay? This is when it should suck. Life should suck in training camp.
Not a game. We talking about practice.
I think just for the young guys, it's the mental. How much can they retain from the last time we were together in June to now? And then the vets just kind of picking up, where they sort of where they left off and maybe knocking a little rust off and getting back into it.
Looks, fires, deep downfield, got a man. That's Christian Kirk along the left sideline. Touchdown, Jacksonville! A 29-yard touchdown pass.
Man rush, throws downfield, looking for Thomas again. He's got it, and LSU strikes back quickly.
Now he wants to throw it back. And the ball picked off by the Jaguars. Josh Allen, has he done enough this year yet? He picked off the double pass and ran it back inside the 10-yard line. Dropping is Richardson, fires deep downfield, and that ball is intercepted by Tyson Campbell. He picked it off at the 43-yard line of the Indianapolis Colts.
Good ball, man. Locked in for another 4 years. Love y'all, ready to get to work. Bring the Super Bowl to Jacksonville, man. Duval!
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
Oh, there is just a different energy when football season rears its head once again here in Jacksonville. Training camp with everybody out on the field getting started today. They'll be wrapping up the first day of training camp here 2024 in the next half hour or so. We expect to hear from quarterback Trevor Lawrence after practice. We already heard from head coach Doug Pederson this morning. We'll obviously let you hear what he had to say as we go throughout the show this morning, but you can feel that energy, Jaguars Nation. I know you can, with the team out there getting ready for the 2024 season officially now, with training camp opening today for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Good morning, everybody. I'm Tony Smith. Dylan Denmark here with me, Mike Dempsey. He's in the car on the way into the studio. He was out at training camp practice this morning, so we'll get the bird's eye view of what the Jags got done here on day one of 2024 training camp. He might or might not. I know last year he did, Dylan, come in with a couple of bowls of chili. It is that day, with it being the first day of training camp, where we know fan cam's going to be out there with that going. I know he brought us a bowl of chili last year. I'm sure that he's going to be walking into this door with a couple of bowls for you and I here in the next few minutes.
Yeah, I'll take that bowl, man. I'll take some lunch at noon, and we'll get out of here at noon o'clock.
No doubt. The Jags will be wrapping up their first day of training camp in the next half hour or so. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence, as I said, expected to speak after practice today. Although I do wonder if the schedule that the team sent out over the weekend might get changed with the news of Tyson Campbell getting that extension done yesterday. Campbell was scheduled to speak after practice on Saturday this weekend. That might still be how that goes. I'm not sure, but it wouldn't be a big surprise if it happens earlier with Tyson getting in front of the entire media after getting that 4-year deal done. Head coach Doug Pederson spoke this morning before practice already, and we will let you hear that throughout the show this morning, and we will also effort to let you hear from whoever is speaking after practice today. Again, scheduled to be Trevor Lawrence, but that he'll be going to the microphone here in about half an hour, whoever it is that's going to be speaking after training camp practice this morning. So Trevor Lawrence or Tyson Campbell or whoever that happens to be, we will effort to let you hear a little bit of their commentary as training camp gets started before we get out of here today as Mike Dempsey walks in the door. No! We both knew the assignment on wearing the teal.
Hey, what's in that cooler, man?
We'll find out what's in the cooler here in just a few moments as Mike has arrived. He will sit down with us in just a second. The Tyson Campbell news broke during the second hour of the show yesterday with John Ozier here in studio with us, and we might have asked the same question of the day today regardless, but with them getting the deal done with Tyson to cap off arguably the biggest offseason in team history, with Tyson joining Trevor Lawrence, Josh Hines-Allen, getting extensions done, and a stadium renovation that will keep the team here in Jacksonville for another 30 years. They signed Eric Armstead. They signed Gabe Davis. The draft picks are coming in as well with Brian Thomas Jr. It's a lot of things to be excited about for the Jacksonville Jaguars going into 2024. And along those lines, our question of the day today, brought to you by Chad and Sandy Real Estate, asking you, describe your reaction to the Jacksonville Jaguars 2024 offseason using 5 words or less. So you do have an assignment there. You do have to limit it to 5 words or less. We'll go through some of your responses throughout the program this morning, but it's obviously an exciting time here in Jacksonville with everything that is going on. We can continue to react to Tyson getting that deal done yesterday. We were obviously able to do that a little bit in the second hour of the program yesterday as well. Tyson Campbell had the opportunity to catch up with Kai Stevens over at Jaguars.com. She had the chance to sit down with him yesterday afternoon and share a few of his comments, including Kai got the opportunity to ask Tyson just about getting that contract extension done.
It's a blessing. God is good. It's been a long journey. Been a lot of hard work, a lot of adversity. A lot of lessons learned, but just to be able to finally get it done and something you work for your whole life is. So I'm so grateful and so blessed. So I'm lost for words.
There's no guarantees on any of this stuff, right? Like, you can be a really good athlete. That doesn't mean you're going to get to play in the NFL. As we all know, you can be a pretty good athlete and get into the NFL. That doesn't mean you're going to get a second contract in the NFL, certainly. So for Campbell, it's a remarkable accomplishment to be at this point in his career already. He was also asked about the reaction that he's been getting from some of his teammates, the other players on the team, once he got that deal done.
It's great, just the guys that you share the ground with and are around so much, most of the year. So, they're family to me, and, just to see how happy they are for me, and, when they get contracts and wherever it be, make future or present contract, it's just always, heartwarming and, a good feeling. So I'm truly grateful for them guys.
One more here from Tyson Campbell, sitting down with Kai Stevens yesterday over there from Jaguars.com, and he was asked about, today is the opening of training camp. He was just asked a little bit about his thoughts with training camp opening up.
I like training camp.
Okay. First day of school?
Yeah, get you back in the groove, lets you know that the season's near, and you get to put the work in, and so that when the season comes, you train and prepare and able to have fun and excel. So
we will hear from Doug Pederson probably in the next segment. We'll hear a little bit from Doug as he spoke before training camp practice this morning. As I said, Trevor Lawrence or whoever they send to the podium after practice. That's who it was scheduled to be, is Trevor. It might be Tyson now. I'm not sure how they're going to do all that today. But whoever it is, we'll let you hear some of their thoughts before we get out of here today. Hayes Carline going to join us in the second hour of the program today as well. He was out at training camp. Let's talk to somebody else who was out at training camp this morning. Hi, it's Mike Dempsey.
Good morning. I got 2 words for you.
Yeah.
All right. Let me set it up as I left. It's so easy. If you get out of Lot J and can make that left and you get over the Hart Bridge, and you're here at 10:10 in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So I'm coming around Parental Home Road, getting ready to turn on to Hogan, and I hear the open start to go on. I'm like, this is good. Because Pockets has promised we're going to have something special, right? I had 2 words, and they are, damn, son. I get that open. I get Tony so strong on the mic to open up training camp. I felt like sitting in the car, honestly, for the next 2 hours, Tone.
Well, I'm glad
because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
But you got, seriously, Dylan, that was some fine work, my man.
Appreciate that, my guy.
Oh, my goodness. The kids would call that fire, Tony. That is
straight fire.
Straight fire is what that is right now. I am fired up, brother. I got a cooler. What do you think's in that cooler?
I know chili is.
Big old Tupperware chili on jasmine rice for the boys, courtesy of Fan Cam.
Tall boy White Claws.
And some Tall Boy White Claws. I should have stopped and got you some. This is how much I love you guys. I made 2 stops to get ice on the way in to training camp this morning. First one I go to down in my neck of the woods. I'm like, all right, this is the easiest place to stop. And right before I get on 95, and I'm waiting in line. There are a bunch of people, hardworking people, right? Mm-hmm. I get it. I'll take my place in line. I'm like 10th in line to get to the register. There's one register open. I get up there, like a bag of ice, no ice. Oh! All right, fine.
The world has changed.
It's all right. So I made another stop on Emerson at the Wawa. Shout out to the Wawa. Got you a bag of ice so you'd have fresh, delicious chili on jasmine rice.
I appreciate it.
And it's spectacular.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just old enough to remember having to, anytime there was a party at the house, I was still old enough to drive at the time when you had to go down to the gas station to get ice for the party.
Yes.
You know, like that was not an unusual event.
I still kind of think, like, I would still do that, you know, even though you have whatever. I like to have extra ice. I like coolers full of ice.
I hear
but
you.
whatever. But in addition to that, the tale of my throwback jersey continues.
Oh.
Okay?
What is this, chapter 3
This is
or 4?
chapter 3. Hopefully the final chapter. All right? So you were gone.
Yes.
I'm out there doing the show on the day the throwbacks drop. It's fantastic. Dylan's holding court back here at the studio, and I get myself a jersey, and I'm like, I'm going to have like the stitched, you know, Prowler Jaguar on there and stuff.
Which is kind of the ironed on.
Which is fine, right?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that,
No.
right? And I mean, they look spectacular, but I wanted it to be a little bit more durable, right? So I'm like, this looks really good. So the next day, I had to go down and pick up my credential for training camp. So I'm like, let's see if that pro shop's open. And I go in there, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is the one you want. And I get, like, what is it called? Like the Vapor Elite or whatever?
Something, yeah.
It's the one, like, if something were to happen to Mac Jones, I would be the backup quarterback if I wore that jersey, okay? Because it is like the gamer jersey tone. Yeah. I don't have the guns to pull off the elastic sleeves.
No.
You know, the tight elastic sleeves.
And you don't need the jersey to be flexible enough to fit over the pads?
I don't need that, right? I'm not ever going to wear the pads. And with Awaken 180, I'm not a big fat boy anymore, so everything's slimmed down a little bit. So I'm like, I've made a mistake, okay? I mean, it looks beautiful, but I'm not going to get it's not my kind of place. I'm not going to ask Trevor Lawrence to autograph my jersey. I'm not going to get it framed.
Sure.
They're beautiful for framing.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, all right, even if I've got to get store credit, let me go in and get like the mid
One
tier.
step down.
A step down from the Vapor Elite, I think is what they call it. So I went in there today, had to get the 3X instead of the 2X. But you know what? Big is always better, right? Honestly, right? And you're going to wear it during football season, a little cool. You wear it with a long sleeve shirt underneath, whatever the case. So I have now mid-graded myself, and I think I'm good. I may model it before the show is over today. But I said, so how do you do it? You do store credit? I'm thinking, I'll buy a bunch of goodies and we'll give them away on the show.
Sure.
You know? And they're like, no, we'll refund you the whole. I'm like, oh, well, sorry about the goodies because I'll take the money back.
How serious was the debate on which one to get?
For me?
Yeah.
Once instant regret on the elastic sleeves. I felt like I went in there and I'm like, look, I want to upgrade this to like the stitch. And she goes, this is the one you want. And I just kind of went with the flow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I even tried it on. I'm like, is this really the one I want? All right, I'm pot committed here. Sure. And so I got it, and it was pricey. Let's just say that compared to the one I got today,
right?
Nearly 2 times as much.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but look, the Jags have supported me, you, Dylan. Right. We make a lot of our living off the presence of the Jaguars. I don't mind contributing back.
Sure.
Into the pool. But it's great, man. It's great to see people. I mean, the line wrapping from, basically where the pro shop, I guess they had them backed up a little bit towards the other end of the sidewalk, but out into Lot J before they opened the gates. I mean, it was fantastic, man. You can see I put a couple of pictures out there, and the smart people get there early, and because about 85% of the seats are in shade.
Yeah,
and you better get one of them.
Fantastic out there.
Woo.
And look, we know the energy's in the city. You saw it out there last week when they were unveiling, and putting the new jerseys out there for sale, the new old jerseys out there for sale last week. We saw the crowds that were out there. Not surprised at all that it feels that way again today with training camp opening up for the Jaguars. Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day today, asking you to describe your reaction to the Jaguars 2024 offseason using 5 words or less. We'll let you hear from Doug Pederson on the other side as well as he spoke before training camp practice this morning. Tony Smith, Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark here with you as we get things started here on the first day of Jaguars training camp 2024 on Jaguars Today.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss. Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Andersen Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Now, 1010XL gives you even more sports talk and spirited conversation.
You can't be serious.
Rick Ballou takes you into the night.
Very amusing.
Then Hacker After Dark.
It's astounding. It's amazing.
Evenings on 1010XL.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
This July, celebrate America's independence with a fresh view from Renewal by Andersen. Hi, this is Chelsea. Right now, buy any 4 windows or patio doors and get the 5th free. Plus, enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Our custom-built, energy-efficient windows and doors will enhance the beauty and value of your home. Visit rbafla.com to schedule your complimentary design consultation. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hello, I'm Malcolm Anthony. I've been practicing criminal defense law for over 40 years. It's what I love to do, it's what I do well. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me, Malcolm Anthony, at 2854-LAW. 2854-LAW for Malcolm Anthony.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loans, and personal loans. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. So call now, 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Hun, the drain really smells.
Yeah, wow, it does.
I think it's getting backed up. What should we do? Did you just quack like a duck?
Yes, I did. Duck Rooter, your plumbing pros in Northeast Florida. Need help with a plumbing issue at your home or business? Just call the Duck.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Seminoles, yes. Hurricanes, yes. 1010XL brings the Atlantic Coast Conference to the First Coast. It's the ACC kickoff in Charlotte. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234.
And Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
What's changed totally inside and out? The Kuhn Flowers massive storefront, and yes, they've totally remodeled the showroom inside too. This is Frank Frangie, and the next time you drive by, stop and smell the roses at Kuhn Flowers.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
This is Hayes Carline for Skylife Elite. Have you ever thought about aircraft ownership as another potential revenue stream and as a tool for tax savings? Put your tax money to work for you while enjoying the benefits of private personal travel. Skylife Elite has over a decade of experience in business aviation and can guide you through the process with their expert staff. Call my friends over at Skylife Elite at 490-9332 or find them at flyskylife.com to get the rundown on everything owning an airplane can do for you.
1010XL breaks down training camp all day. Listen for camp news with analysis and insight from the practice feed. Everything counts! 1010XL's training camp coverage is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing and Kingfish Pest Control.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting! 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
Yeah, we're still in discussions with all that, and not ready to make a public decision yet.
Oh, what could Doug Pederson possibly have been asked that would be the answer this
morning?
morning?
How many times are you going to wear the throwbacks? No? That would have been of great public interest.
Yeah, that was the who's calling plays question, and he'll be asked that every time he steps in front of a microphone until it's officially answered, I'm sure. I know.
Have you figured it out yet, Doug?
Apparently not. I know Shad Khan has said at different times that he would like Doug Pederson to call the plays, and I know Doug Pederson said this morning essentially that will be part of the process of figuring out what's going to happen. Like that will weigh into whatever the ultimate decision is going to be on who's going to be calling plays for the football team this year, but no official decision yet.
I think just having Ryan Nielsen, I just feel like more ready to hit the ground running than Mike Caldwell was, right? And you have to less attention paid to that side of the ball. You don't have to be an exclusively offensive coach, Tony. You want to have your fingerprints all over this team if you're the head coach, and
sure,
particularly a Super Bowl champion head coach like Doug Pederson. But this is eliminate all the reasons, all the excuses, all the things you can point to. Who do you think would be best, even if it's marginal? Like, I know you like your guy. Call the damn plays, Doug, right? And just eliminate any doubt as to whether that's a factor in your offensive performance.
He did it in Philly. And he was fine handling
Did they ever win anything in Philly?
They did all right while he was calling plays and handling the head coach game management stuff.
Right.
On the side. He's capable of doing those jobs at the same time. So that's a little weird. But it does speak to how much trust he has in press.
Sure.
Right? Like that's more than anything, that's what that speaks to. I don't think it's unreasonable for everyone to be like, yeah, but we know you're awesome at this. We know you are. We've seen what you do at your highest level when you're calling plays for a team. We've seen what that looks like. If you can get him to that level, he chose last year to let Press have the reins for that. He chose to give him the reins in the back halves of games 2 years ago, and they were better offensively in the second halves of those games than they were in the first half.
Right.
Right? Like, there's no argument about that. I don't think it makes all that big a difference between the two of them as to who's calling the plays. Ultimately, on game day, I think it makes a psychological difference for the fan base.
Absolutely.
As to who's calling the
and
plays.
For the owner.
Yeah.
A little bit. Look, I'm on Shad Khan's side. If I had to pick one side, but I do think there are reasonable arguments on both sides. It's not like Doug Pederson's not going to be part of putting the game plan together every single week and putting the play sheet together. And, hey, this is what we're going to lean into. And if we're going to script it, I mean, he's going to have his hands on all of that. And he can interject at any point in time. But, again, if it comes down to it, if I had to choose, I'd have Doug Pederson.
I'm right there with
you. Doing that. But, again, I think, like you said, it's more of a psychological thing. I don't know in the fabric of the reality of what happens on game day, does it make that much of a difference? But if it makes a difference on 1, 2, 3 calls, a lot of games are decided by one score.
Yeah.
Right? So let me just give you my one observation.
Yeah.
I know we're going to get into Dougie. Take this with massive grain of salt, right? Because day one, the big news, Hayes Carline joined us about an hour. I want to hear everyone came through unscathed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then it's a successful first practice
Yes.
as far as I'm concerned. But the way this setup is, where the media comes in on the right side of the field, from my perspective, walking in, that's where Chad Hall runs his receivers through their paces. The first period, they're all broken into individual groups, and what they were doing with the receivers, they were running a little ladder drill. You know, you got the little rope ladder on the ground.
Yeah.
You basically, a little patter with the feet. You get through the ladder, you turn, you catch a ball. Okay, all that is fine. It was the order that they went in.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't, again, it's day one, right? You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
7 guys. You tell me what order they went in at wide receiver. Who's the first receiver that went in the ladder drill?
Christian Kirk.
Of course he was. All right. Who's the second receiver that went in the ladder drill?
Brian Thomas Jr.
Incorrect.
Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis, right?
Okay.
I mean, and I think that's nod to the veteran.
Yep.
Right? And clearly Brian Thomas was third
Yep.
then in the pecking order. Who was fourth?
Parker Washington.
Yeah, Duvernay. Tony's got it. Who was fifth, Dylan?
Parker Washington.
Parker Washington was fifth. Who was sixth?
Cooks.
Elijah Cooks, right? And who was seventh?
Tim Jones.
There you go. Tim Jones, right? So it's like kind of on seniority a little bit, but Brian Thomas doesn't have seniority over anybody. And so he, I think that gives you a look at day one, and this will change potentially dramatically, right?
Sure.
I mean, Elijah Cooks may not make this football team. Tim Jones might not make this football team. I think those first 5 will, but it's just a small little nugget. I'm not saying, again, that this is how the depth chart is going to shake out against the Miami Dolphins. But to me, I felt like it was like, all right, Kirk's our guy. He's going first. Gabe Davis is a vet, been around the league, big free agent signing. He's going to go second. Hey, rookie draft pick here. Let's not kid ourselves. He's at worst the third in this picture. And then Duvernay, Washington, Cooks, and Jones. And I did not keep up with the Cephases of the world and the whole, because they're like 29 other guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, 7 was enough for me to remember.
Yeah, it's a crowded room this time of year, right? In a bunch of rooms out there with the 90-man roster out on the field together.
That's what it is.
It'll be a 90-man roster for a few more weeks, and then it won't be anymore, right? You'll be cutting it down to the 53 here sooner rather than later.
Really dramatically, though, right now, because now it's like one fell swoop. We're going to take this thing down instead of just that piecemeal along the way.
Yeah, and it makes sense, that you cut a preseason game, so it's a different schedule for the whole league, and it makes all these players from all these teams that are all going to be available at the same time on the waiver wire.
God bless a receiver who's like 11th on anyone's depth chart, right? Like, so hard, man. I mean, you can impress, and guys, there are stories of guys that do make the big club and what have you, but man, it's just like so many bodies to climb over. You wonder what is their end game? For some of them, I think it's just get on that practice squad.
Yeah.
Right? Get paid to play football this year. Some of them might be, playing in the whatever they're calling the spring league these days.
And they've been playing receiver probably pretty exclusively for most of their life, and now they're in the NFL, and it's going to be, if you want to be on the roster, you better be able to play special teams.
And if you saw one of them with a competent quarterback throwing the ball, you'd be like, damn, that guy's good.
Yeah.
They're all good.
They're all really talented.
But the NFL is not about just being good. It's about being elite.
Yes.
And bringing a lot of traits to the table.
No doubt about it. Let's hear a little bit more from Doug Pederson, who spoke before training camp practice this morning, and he started by being asked about what he looks for going into training camp.
I think just for the young guys, it's the mental. How much can they retain from the last time we were together in June to now? And then the vets just kind of picking up, where they sort of where they left off and maybe knocking a little rust off and getting back into it.
I mean, that's kind of where we're at. It's just knocking the rust out. Again, 11-20, Hayes Carline, if he tells us there were no bumps and bruises, I'm cool with that day. Well, the first couple of days, you're just easing into things. Look, this has been, it's so fun, man. It's so fun to be down there. So many guys coming up. What do you think? What do you think? I'm excited about this. How about Tyson Campbell? Bro, what an offseason this has been.
Yeah.
If the Jags do win the whole thing, if they grab the brass ring sometime in the next 5 to 7 years, we will look back at this offseason as, other than when they got the team, this is probably the most consequential offseason that we've seen. And it started with, it really started with Foye getting a deal, but then you had Trevor getting his contract, Josh Hines-Allen, and now Tyson Campbell, and now you are investing in your young guys that you drafted, and you're sending that signal to the locker room. But beyond that, you feel like you're starting to acquire good talent through the draft. Doug Pederson was just asked about just the summer of contract extensions.
I think the domino effect is how it can uplift your team. I think it shows a commitment from the organization that the guys that have been drafted here can be here long term, and I think that's a great message for a lot of the young players that we draft and potentially undrafted guys. And it gives you, I think, that peace of mind as well. That especially with the quarterback position, that's not lingering now. It's behind all of us, and we can just focus on ball. And I think the same with Josh and Tyson, all those guys, because they were, they're big money guys, right? And each one of them deserves, what they got, and it's because of their play on the field. And I think it sends a great message to the rest of the team that if you do things right, both on and off the field, you could be rewarded for it.
One more here from Doug, and then we have plenty more from him on the other side as well. But he was just asked about looking back at how the 2023 season ended and saying that he has to keep this team grounded going into 2024.
Just looking back and learning on, some of those moments last year, especially the end of the season, we have to stay grounded. We got to continue to trust each other, right? Trust our process, the standard that we've put in place here. And regardless of what happens, injuries are going to be part of our game and at every position. And it's got to be a next man up type mentality. And that's got to be the message moving forward, that it takes everybody. And, we kind of stressed that this offseason, and making sure that everybody is a part of it, right? And we're developing the entire team and not just a certain few. And I think that's the key with the back half of the season, right? When you get into, late November, December, early January, that you're going to have to play some of your younger players to carry you through to where you want to be.
Plenty more from Doug Pederson coming up here on Jaguars Today. Hayes Carline going to join us in the 11 o'clock hour this morning, as well as we continue to react. The first day of training camp should be in the books about right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Practice scheduled to go till 10:30 this morning. We'll let you hear from Trevor Lawrence, Tyson Campbell, whoever steps to the microphone after practice today as well. Tony Smith, Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark here with you as we continue along here on this Wednesday edition of Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. There's a lot less of me to kick around these days, and I got that recognition from a lot of folks I ran into down at training camp this morning. Man, you look great. Man, what are you doing? Well, if you're listening to the program, you know I'm doing Awaken 180, and I've been in the maintenance phase for quite a while now, about 8-9 months, and I'm maintaining that weight loss very easily, quite frankly. I was talking with a couple of my cohorts out there today, including Hacker, who's doing fantastic, looks great, dropped over 80 pounds. Look, I needed to drop about 25 pounds to get to my goal weight. Awaken 180 helped me get there in about a month's time. It comes off rapidly, but the big thing with Awaken 180, once you lose that weight, they guarantee you're going to be able to maintain that weight loss through great coaching, great guidance, and it's all free. Once you hit your goal weight, that coaching, that instruction is all there for you. Call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 for Awaken 180, or schedule a free consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Want more Jags? Subscribe to the 1010XL Jaguars YouTube channel. Looking for more in-depth coverage of the Gators? Subscribe to the 1010XL Gators YouTube channel. Need your FSU fix? Well, subscribe to the 1010XL Seminoles YouTube channel. Your favorite team, one specific location.
Enjoy the thrill of the grill at John Smith Subs with specialty subs like the Steak Bomb, the Gator, plus a full lineup of cold and hot deli subs, including the best Cuban and Duval. Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs on Hodges and JTB.
Tropical Smoothie Cafe here with your daily reminder to get on Tropic Time. Take
Take 10. Sip a refreshing smoothie and manifest that you're a cabana-side. Slade Hot Yoga? Treat yourself. Crushed back-to-back meetings? Get that me time. Adulted a little extra today? You deserve a vacay. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. And look who's back and causing a stir. Our refreshing Island Punch, Mango Berry Cosmo, and Watermelon Mojito mocktail smoothies are here for a limited time.
International soccer returns this summer. Don't miss Premier League clubs, Wolves and West Ham in Jacksonville for the Stateside Cup, July 27th at Everbank Stadium. Tickets as low as $35 at statesidecup.com.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein & Robbins DUI defense firm.
Prosser here. As you may or may not know by now, I did the research and decided to go with Jack's Concrete Coatings for my garage floor. OMG, as the kids would say. I can't begin to tell you how good it looks, how happy we are. We brag on it anytime someone walks in the garage. They had the job finished in one day with a lifetime warranty. That's right. As the certified Pintech dealer for North Florida, the only company offering pure polyurea, I can't wait to do my patio deck next. Call 862-2000. That's the number, 862-2000, or jacksconcretecoatings.com.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
Pickett here for Bout 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bout 9. Visit Bout 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bout 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and it is hot out there. You know that, Greg, but Honda has a plan for you on or off the road.
They do. There's a ton of Honda scooters, Honda mini motos, great for the beach. Also get you out in the woods with a Honda side-by-side. Plenty to do and stay cool.
Yeah, four-wheelers, and you can trick them out.
We can. From stereo systems to big builds, we do it all.
Everything's there for you to see. CyclesOfJacksonville.com online or on Atlantic near Regency. Check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, Dylan has declared the 13 sausage chili straight fire. So I think he calls pretty much everything straight fire. Just like his open today. Fantastic. Don't worry if you missed it. We'll get some good use out of that in the days ahead. I know a lot of our hardcore listeners are probably down, taken in practice, or it's wrapping up right about now, whatever the case may be. Hayes Carline will be along at about 11:20 this morning, Tone, and we're off and rolling. You know?
We are, yeah.
A lot of enthusiasm, great offseason. Now put it all together. You got me with the question today. I'm thinking about this one now. 5 words to describe the offseason. We'll get to ours a little bit later on in the show. But obviously, one of the big changes is you changed basically the entire defensive coaching staff, particularly with the head guy in Ryan Neelen, who has overseen fast turnarounds and improvements from both the Saints and the Falcons immediately after getting there. So it's not like we need a year for everybody to learn the system. It's like, no, here it is. Here's how I'm going to make you better right away. So Doug was asked, what is there, what should we be looking for? The way this question is framed, what to see in Ryan Neelen, I'm assuming, what is it that he sees in Ryan Neelen and what maybe we should be looking for throughout training camp?
I think, one, there's excitement around Ryan and what he's brought, to the defense and how he's going to utilize the players defensively. I think you'll see, when you're out there, just, the excitement. It's an attack style of defense. Guys are moving forward. I think it just suits the players, right? And I think the players have really bought into that. And, you're going to see a lot of teaching, a lot of coaching, by not just by Ryan, but his entire staff, both sides of the ball, special teams, and today's day one, and it just goes from here.
I think we're all excited about whatever that's going to look like, right? The revamped defense, and
hell yeah,
it's a pretty wide open question. We know the last 2 spots he's been in, they got better on defense with him being the defensive coordinator organizing all these things. I would expect it's going to get better in Jacksonville too for the Jaguars this year, and trying to figure out how all the new pieces they brought in will fit where in this defense. It's one of the most intriguing things about training camp opening up for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, one of his guys on the defensive side got paid yesterday, and that's Tyson Campbell. And Coach was asked this morning about what the next step is for Tyson Campbell after getting that contract done.
I think with Tyson just continuing to grow, young player, again, like we said, having stability now. He's going to be in one place for a while, and just continue to build off of his first few years. I do think that the things that we're doing defensively are going to help him, right? I think that the scheme is going to help him in the style that the secondary is going to play. I think it suits him. And Tyson is one that, he's not a big guy, but he's a physical guy, and I think this is really going to help him take another step, and continue to work on his ball skills, obviously, and just have that presence about him that he's one of the top corners in the league.
Look, there's room for growth, right? And act accordingly. You got paid like one of the top corners. The team is putting their belief in you. But you hear what Doug is saying there, Tone, because I'm so familiar. I call him Doug. We're on a first name basis like that. But seriously, that it's the fit. It's what they envision, that he thinks he'll excel with what Ryan Neelen is going to require of his cornerbacks here.
However open that question might have been for all of us, including me. Like, that was an open question for me about how well he fits into a new defensive scheme with Neelen. Them giving him the contract answers that question.
Speaks volume.
From their perspective, at least, it answers that question. So while that may have been a question for me 2 days ago, they've answered that, at least as effectively as they can to this point in the process by choosing to give him the extension.
Now they got to be right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big part of it as well. All right, so, a lot of youth on this team. I mean, you think about that core that they locked up, very young guys in their mid-20s, which are really coming into their mid-20s. Trevor Lawrence, 24 years old. But there was an infusion of veterans coming from winning organizations this offseason. Mitch Morse on one line of scrimmage, Eric Armstead on the other line of scrimmage. And, they're not spring chickens, but they still have some good football. What is having that kind of veteran experience going to mean for some of the younger players here?
Well, it sends a message to them like this is how a pro takes care of himself physically, right, and mentally, how he approaches every single day, and just his leadership style, how he can bring along young guys. This is going to be really good for Luke, and to see just how Mitch operates, and that's what vets do, and he's a guy that's willing to show others how to do it, and I think that's important. I think Eric Armstead, when we get him on the field too, I think that's another one that could be great for Trayvon, right? To be able to see just what it takes. So they're very similar positionally. They can both go inside, outside, and then, physically they're both kind of the same. So it'll be great for both those guys really to lead, probably more by example.
Yeah, the versatility, the things they can do with Walker and Armstead, it boggles the mind, the different places they could play those guys. It'll be fun to see exactly how they want to use them. And one of the things that Coach was asked about this morning with Ryan Nielsen and the defense changing, he was asked about the scheme and how much he thinks it might be able to help a couple of guys who excelled last year playing together, and Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen.
Again, I think this is really this scheme is going to help Trayvon. It's going to help Josh. I think it's just going to utilize the strengths of both of those players. And I think it's the reason why we drafted Trayvon, right? And the reason why Josh is here and we extended Josh. I mean, it's their skill set is to get after quarterbacks, and the two of them together is a pretty good group, in this league. And I just think that the changes we've made they're gonna benefit from that.
I hear from Doug Pederson, Jaguars head coach, spoke this morning. Yeah, look, that's the beauty of training camp now, right? You're going to hear from all the coaching staff, the coordinators, the key players. I do believe they are planning for Tyson Campbell to speak today if he hasn't already. That was what I understood as we were going off the air yesterday. So we'll see. But you're going to hear as much as you can on Jaguars today, but guess what? We're the flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll mix it in throughout the day, no question about it. One of the things that was asked, Tony, this morning of Doug Pederson was noticeable that some of the pass rushers seemed to put on some weight, some quality, weight. Obviously, I'm curious, is this like a philosophical thing with Ryan Nielsen, how he likes his guys to play? Is this what makes the players comfortable in preparing for the season? Let's hear what Doug had to say.
I think it's as they develop and as their bodies over time develop. There's a fine line there. You don't want too much weight and it slows them down. And I guess the thing is too, you draft those guys for a specific position on your team, offense, defense, special teams, whatever it might be, and you try not to change that too much, right? We can coach them up and coach technique and fundamentals and all that, but when it comes to height, weight, speed, we need to use their God-given ability and talent, as a strength for us on defense.
You do wonder a little bit, like if you were playing 3-4 outside linebacker, your responsibilities are generally the same, but do you lean towards being a little bit more light, more mobile, as opposed to being with your hand on the ground, on the line of scrimmage in a 4-3?
You'll be asked to cover if you're playing 3-4 outside linebacker.
More.
Yeah.
Right. And occasionally guys will drop into coverage and everyone will lose their mind.
Yeah.
When Josh Hines-Allen drops into coverage. But it will happen occasionally. But, you become more of a on-the-line, take-on-a-block run defender at times, too. So I think probably having that's got to be a little bit of a factor.
No doubt about it. We haven't made a big deal about Eric Armstead starting on the PUP list here at the beginning of training camp, and I don't expect that Coach is going to make a big deal out of it either. But he was asked about any level of concern with Armstead having to start training camp on that list.
This guy, he's played a ton of football, right? So, veteran player. I don't have a lot of concern with it's want to make sure, guys like that, we brought them here obviously to help us, but at the same time, we got to make sure that they're healthy before we put them on the field. And he knows what it takes. He's a vet. I've seen him during OTAs. I've seen him even while he was here during our little 3 days with the rookies, and just how he's kind of another coach right now on the field, right? Until he gets ready to go. So that's invaluable. That's gold out there on the field. And so I'm not concerned right now this early that he's not out there. I just want to make ssure that when he is out there that he's 100%.
We all do, right? I mean, again, you missed the first week and you're fine against Miami. Nobody's going to care, right? No. It won't even be brought up again. I don't think at that point.
Well, he was out there today. He just wasn't practicing.
Right.
Yeah.
But, right. He's around. You know what I'm saying, though. Yeah. Like, if you can't do anything on the practice field for the next 7 practices, if you're ready to roll Eric Armstead's a vet. He knows what he needs to do to get his body ready.
Yeah.
And things like that. I did the 3 days thing. Maybe thinking, remember the movie 3 Days of the Condor?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? Fantastic movie. 3 Days of the Jaguar. What would that entail? I'm not sure exactly, but now we need the digital team to get on that and do a 3 Days of the Jaguar kind of thing going down. All right, a couple more here before we hit our next time out. This is a good one, right? Like this is, I saw somebody post something, and I wish I could give him credit. It was on social media. They said, Doug should bring the team together. Lights are out. He just throws something up there about the Houston Texans and the way the season ended. And then he goes, okay, guys, on the field in 5 minutes or something along to that effect. Like, let's get our asses out there. If you don't have enough fuel based on the way things ended last year, you're not the guys I think you are. And Doug was asked about that. Will they use the way the season ended to drive them this year?
I think you're going to hear it when you ask them, that it's motivation, it's fuel. It was a disappointing, way to our end of our season. As high it was for the first 11 games, it was just as low, the last 6. So, but again, it's all stuff we can learn from, right? And how it motivates guys and how we can, lean on those experiences, coaches and players, and with the addition of the new guys, hopefully that helps us get through those times.
A unique offseason for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was the impetus for asking our question of the day today. Describe your reaction to the Jags 2024 offseason using 5 words or less. Obviously, the contract extension's a big part of that discussion and thinking process, and Coach was asked about having those contracts squared away right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is great, and it's a credit to Trent and working with agents and getting, and the players and getting these things done. I mean, it's just, I guess you could call it a relief. It's not hanging over us, right? And I don't have to answer all the questions. This will probably be the last time I get to answer questions about contracts. And it's great for all of us, right? That frees them up now to just go play.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be 5 words, right? It can be 5 words or less.
Or less.
Right? Doug, so what? Now what? Let's go, right? All right. Oh, that's great. Contracts are done. Don't ask me about it again. And I would understand that, right? Like, totally, like, let's be about our business now, right? So, all right, let's take a time out here. Really got one angle we want to look at from what Doug was talking about, and that's going to be talking about preseason playing time. What are we going to do with the starters here? You may have already heard this. It's out there, but we'll discuss what Doug had to say when we return in a moment. And if you hadn't heard it, well, you'll hear it right here on Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss. Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Some players have talent, others have heart. But tonight, I've seen players with talent who I didn't know had any.
1010XL.
And others with heart who I thought only had talent.
Where talent meets heart.
Vegas, baby. This is Taylor Dahl from Helmets and Heels, and we're sending one lucky listener to Circa Resort and Casino this December. Win a free 3-night stay with $200 food and beverage credit, plus a daybed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive 143-foot screen at Circa, you'll huddle up with the Heels at the Overhang Bar for our pregame tailgates on Friday with drink specials and giveaways. For a chance to win this all-in package to Circa with Helmets and Heels, enter at 1010XL.com/Vegas.
And if you've already booked your flight to Vegas for the big game and are still searching for accommodations, Circa Resort and Casino has a special rate just for Jacksonville fans. Mia here, and for just $500, get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 in food and beverage credit, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. The all-in package is only available till August 30th, so act now. Book and join the Heels in Vegas. Visit CircaLasVegas.com today.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Ross, I'm thinking about changing my name.
Again? You're already the media mogul, the straw that stirs the drink, the Duke of Pablo Bay. Now what?
Refer to me as Dreamfinders Danny Hicken.
What in the blazes? Is this a cash grab?
No, it's just that I believe so much in Dreamfinders Homes. 20 locations in Northeast Florida. Official home builder of Jags and Gators. Great opportunity for first-time homeowners.
All right. Dreamfinders Danny it is.
Did I mention the lowest interest rates you can find? Visit dreamfindershomes.com. Now let Dreamfinders Danny celebrate through the majesty of song. Dreamfinders, I believe they will build your home just right.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Did you know a metal roof from Prime Roofing has the highest wind and impact ratings available? If you want a stronger roof, think metal. Think Prime Roofing. Learn more at PrimeRoofingFL.com. That's PrimeRoofingFL.com.
The humidity may be rising, but the prices are dropping at Beard's Diamonds.
It's Christmas in July. Everything store-wide is on sale up to an unbelievable 40% off.
Don't shop anywhere until you shop Beard's Diamonds.
At the St. John's Town Center.
Tired of dealing with clogged drains? What about bad smells coming from your pipes? You need to call Duck Duck Rooter, your plumbing pros in Northeast Florida. Duck Duck Rooter can help with any plumbing issue at your home or business. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Are you looking for quality tires that won't break the bank? Big Chief has you covered. Right now they're offering 6-month financing with the CFNA card, plus $50 off your next service. With no interest for 6 months, it's the perfect time to get those new tires. Schedule your appointment today at BigChiefTire.com or call 904-932-0950 to take advantage of this incredible deal. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Friday on The Franchi Show. Tune in for the House Call segment brought to you by Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Rehab. Join the discussion as a JOI expert tells you about hip replacements. JOI, where the pros go.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332. Go to flyskylife.com and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
Jags fans, the Jaguars are back at the Miller Electric Center for training camp. Presented by Dreamfinders. You won't want to miss out. Stop by to get the first look at Trevor Lawrence and the team as they prepare for the 2024 season. To check out camp dates and secure your tickets, go to jaguars.com/training camp. Daily availability is limited, so lock in your tickets today.
How good is that?
Hey, we got a lot of work today, okay? This is when it should suck. Life should suck in training camp.
Not a game. We talking about practice.
Every day.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and it is hot out there. You know that, Greg, but Honda has a plan for you on or off the road.
They do. There's a ton of Honda scooters, Honda mini motos, great for the beach. Also get you out in the woods with a Honda side-by-side. Plenty to do and stay cool.
Yeah, four-wheelers, and you can trick them out.
We can. From stereo systems to big builds, we do it all.
Everything's there for you to see. CyclesOfJacksonville.com online or on Atlantic near Regency. Check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
The coolest thing going on right now is the Summer Fan Sale with 3 ways to save at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Browse their huge selection of high-quality fans to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Buy 1 fan, save 10%. Buy 2, save 15%. Buy 3 or more and save 20% off summer pricing on all fans. Visit their showroom near the avenues while inventory is still available and discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we want it, we got to bring it. My thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hayes Blog on 1010XL.com.
Hey there, Weekend Warriors. It's Matt Hayes. Sick of that slice? Tired of those 3 putts? What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing, it's about your weight? Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with the Waco 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major, year 1. Think about it. Fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just about 40 pounds away at Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy among your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist pumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made on your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend. Strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Big news from the Jaguars yesterday came with the extension of corner Tyson Campbell. The signing came just in time for training camp.
I like training camp. Get you back in the groove, let you know that the season's near.
The way the 2023 season unfolded, FSU head coach Mike Norvell during his ACC Media Day presser took the high road in response to FSU getting snubbed from the college football playoff.
You can't be reactive to just the circumstance. And, I think we've had a team that has learned how to respond in those situations.
Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp's 6-game away series against the Norfolk Tide was postponed yesterday due to rain. The two teams play a doubleheader today. First pitch is at 5:35. In MLB play, the Rays defeated the Toronto Blue Jays. The Marlins got the victory over the Baltimore Orioles. And that's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 11 o'clock, it's 87 degrees. Time and Center brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
Makes me think of Tom McManus. Told him, Dylan, his hair is growing in very nicely. He was proud of it last week, on a break. He looked in the mirror in the bathroom. He goes, I really like my hair right now. Love you, Tommy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let it go, bro. I'm not. But, you want to talk about rolling deep. 1010XL rolls deep at training camp.
No doubt.
There's no question out there. All right, Tone. We got Hayes Carline coming up in about 19 minutes. We got a little bit more from Doug. We're going to go around the league. But, you got new car smell, right? You got new baby smell, right? That is a thing, like the new baby smell.
For sure.
New Jersey smell.
We got a studio that smells like chili right now.
There you got the chili smell, right? The new batch of chili. But I'm smelling myself right here, as the kids say. But I'm going to model. If you're watching on the YouTube virtual chat right now or whatever, I'm going to get up and
we're going to
display
put the cameras to use.
This is the 3X, right? I could have gone with the 2X, but I feel like just let's be realistic, okay? I got a long way to go to get some wear out of this thing. Love you, Awaken 180. I can't count on me 10 years from now being as strong as I am today. So anyway, let me just show you.
Go model it, yeah.
What we're working
with. I do believe, I don't think I've ever seen Dempsey wearing a jersey anywhere. Like, it's a good-looking jersey for sure. It does have the stitch there on the shoulders. I would say maybe it's a little bit better if the sleeves were tighter. Did you have that option?
I did. Shut up.
Cute story.
Shut the heck up. All right. I told Doom he can pull that look off. I can't pull that look off. You know, hey, look, if that's you, it's you.
Yeah.
If I was going to get it framed and signed the whole thing.
Oh, for sure.
It's such a, I mean, it's, yeah, no, look, and the throwbacks, it's just one slice of the offseason. But
it's,
fans are going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
It's every time you think, man, it can't get better than this, it gets a little bit better, and then it gets a little bit better, and then it gets way better, and then it's that every single month, every couple of weeks, they've been giving you something, and it's like they're doing what now? Holy cow.
By the way, I saw Freddie T and MJD throwbacks in there. Now, they didn't have the stitched ones, but they're there. They're expanding, you know, plenty of ETNs, Trevor, Baselli's, what have you. And they are making it hand over fist there. I mean, that credit card machine was a buzzing this morning. I mean, they, you know, the play. It's just fantastic. It's right there. Yeah. You know, it's one-stop shop. You go in. You could even put it in your car before you go in to check things out. And they were just they were flying out of that place.
That fans haven't had the option to get that right since they went away. They haven't had the option. They'd have to find somewhere that was still holding on to a few. You know, that's essentially what it was. But it's not like you could just go to fanatics.com and say, hey, I want the throwback.
Right.
It wasn't there. Now
Didn't
it
exist.
is. Right? Like, so for the fans that have been starving to be able to buy today's players in that look, now they can, you know, and it is, I'm not surprised by how big the reaction has been from the fan base to get out there and do it. As I was bummed I wasn't able to be a part of it last Thursday when the whole event was going on. But as I did tweet out, the one tweet I think I sent out for the 3 days I was out, but it was, you see it with the players modeling it, right? And it's like, there is no doubt these throwbacks are the best jersey they've ever worn.
Oh, it's so spectacular.
And there's nothing else that's even close to it.
I tweeted out a picture when I did the upgrade last week, and I had the stitched one, and it was kind of folded up. You couldn't tell, you know, what kind of sleeves I had, whatever. And somebody basically said, you're a sucker. This, you know, they changed jerseys for this reason, so you're going to keep buying. I'm like, bro, I'm 55 years old. This is literally the first jersey. I said, congrats, Jags, on the long con trap that you laid for me.
Yeah.
You got me. After all these years, you got me.
Yeah.
Okay?
And they may go back in the vault in a couple of years like Disney does it, and then when it comes back out, everyone buys Beauty and the Beast again. Right? Like, those things happen.
If you want to, but you know, here's the thing. If you're a super fan, you ever see Doom's wall of hats? He's got like 800 hats.
For sure.
Okay? That's what he likes to do. It's not your money. What do you care?
And there are plenty of fans that buy a jersey every year.
Fine.
Right? Like, that's a long-standing tradition for a bunch of fans. I'm going to buy one player's jersey this year. Obviously, when they're doing that, they're going to be buying the jersey in a style that they're wearing that year. Well, they haven't worn this jersey style in 20 years.
Right.
Right. Like, it's been
I think
a
the
long...
players love them, too.
Oh, I don't know how you would.
Dude, oh, my gosh, they look so clean. And by the way, this may be blasphemy to some, like general NFL fandom. I hate the Bucs creamsicle uniforms. I'm sorry. They were ugly then. They're still ugly now. And, oh, it's nostalgia. Oh, the creamsicles. We love the creamsicles. Well, you love them because you haven't seen them in a while. You wouldn't love them if you saw them week after week after week. At least I wouldn't think. These would hold up quite well. Thank you very much. All right. Before we get to Dougie P, let's get to Tony Smith taking us around the league.
Now, Gems Around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Cleveland and wide receiver Amari Cooper agreed to a restructured contract yesterday, and Cooper did report for the start of the team's training camp. The restructured deal guarantees him $20 million this season, $10 million of that going his way with the signing of that deal. Leaves another $5 million available for him in incentives this season. The Los Angeles Rams and quarterback Matthew Stafford also got a deal done as camp was getting started yesterday, so he was there for the beginning of training camp. Head coach Sean McVay delayed a meeting with the media for a couple of hours while the two sides were trying to get that deal done. On Tuesday, it's not an extension, it's just a restructure on that deal for Stafford, but he is in-house now. New Orleans running back Alvin Kamara has reported for training camp after leaving their offseason work early, with his agent saying at the time that his leaving was related to a contract issue. As far as we know, that has not been resolved, but he is there for training camp for the Saints. San Francisco wide receiver Brandon Ayuk has has reported for training camp. He requested a trade again a week ago. It's been a up and down kind of offseason for him there in San Francisco, but he is there for training camp and has signed that 5th-year option. Baltimore quarterback Lamar Jackson missed his 3rd straight day of training camp practice with an illness on Tuesday. Ravens head coach John Harbaugh said that Jackson's return is about when he feels good enough to practice and is cleared by the team's doctors. And Emmanuel Ogba's deal with Miami, we now know a few more of the details. A 1-year deal worth up to $5 million.
All right, a couple here on the text line, Tone, before we get to that last cut from Doug Pederson. I'm at work, so I can't yell this out loud right now, so I figured I'd say it here. Football is back! I'll yell it for you, and I'm fired up.
It has begun.
You aware of that, Dylan? That it has begun?
You sound like somebody, and I do not know the story.
Well, it's a brief story. So the legend had it. Hacker would tell us. This is going back at least 20 years. 20 years, I'll say. Hacker would say, first day of training camp, he would either he'd be up or he'd set an alarm for 12:01 a.m., and he would go outside the house and go, "It has begun," and that was it. And that was his way to signal that training camp was off and rolling.
That sounds like Hacker.
It totally sounds like Hacker.
Totally Hacker.
Totally.
Nobody else but Hack.
Yep. Let's see. Fan Cam had some great chili. Go Jags. Yes, he did. Cam on the text line himself, as of like 9:30, had already served up 150 plus bowls of that stuff. You see the vat of chili that they cook, man, and they buy all the bowls and the spoons and the extra Tupperware and all these things that go into it. So it's a little bit of an investment for them, but it's a fun tradition to see that out there. All right, let's get back to the final little slice of Doug Pederson commentary from this morning. And he was asked about what is the plan in terms of playing starters during the preseason.
Other than the Tampa Bay game, because when Tampa comes here, we get a lot of work done, a lot of great work with the starters. So I usually hold them out of that game. But the first 1 and 3, Kansas City and Atlanta, definitely play the starters. It's selective. I would say in the past, not all the starters would play, but I like playing them. They need to play. They need to have, that sense of urgency. They need to feel game readiness. I'll play them.
Yeah, if you got a bet you've been managing a little bit, and it's, a couple weeks before the season, keep in mind now, if you play in week 1, you got the joint practices in week 2 with the Bucs. So if you play in week 1, you got week 2 of the preseason. You got week 3 of the preseason. You have the open week. Then you've got the Miami Dolphin game. So if you don't play in the 3rd preseason game, it's a month since you've been in game conditions for this team. So it's the new normal in the NFL. You probably see him play like a quarter in that first one, and then you see him play like you used to see in the 3rd preseason
And
game.
different players want different things, right?
Some guys like it. Some guys need it.
Maurice Jones-Drew was that guy.
Wanted to be hit, wanted to get with his run
Get
fits
a little
with
bit
the
of that
offensive
rhythm,
line.
right?
Yep.
Like that was important to him. Obviously, LaDainian Tomlinson didn't need any of that time, right? They kept him off the field in preseason, and it made sense. If you have a player that doesn't feel like he needs that time on the field and the risk of exposing him to those hits is greater than what he feels like he can benefit from being out there, then you make that decision for the player. It makes sense. All these guys are getting paid way too much money to put them at too much risk, but you have to figure out what is the proper amount of this is what everybody needs to get us ready for week 1. And the math is a little bit different now because they're playing 3 games instead of 4, and they got the bye week between game 3 and the start of the regular season, so it changes.
But they were never
the math.
playing the 4th game, right?
No.
So
no,
we're all off that week,
and it has become the thing in the NFL. If you have like Tampa's coming here for week 2 for that couple of days of practice, then we're not playing our guys.
You get some quality work on the field, right? We don't need to do that.
It tells you what preseason is about. If you can get better work with the guys just doing a practice, and you probably can. If you could get them in every week, then the preseason games would be like that every week.
If you're like guy 51 through 90, right, the last few that are going to make the team, and week 2 is your week, right, or the second half of week 1 or whatever you can. Every rep you can get is going to be important. We'll get some reps in with Hayes Carline. Again, his first day of training camp. We don't expect major breaking news, but we'll find out what Hayes' observations were from this morning and who he got a chance to talk to after practice, as well as We continue along here on Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. Keep that chili away from a New Jersey, Dylan, or we're going to be
already ate his
having
home.
issues. All right, he threw his bowl away. You licked the spoon, all that. Tony's got his. All right, just don't be sullying my new threads here. The one time in my life I took the staple out of my wallet to buy myself a jersey. I want to at least make it last a little while. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. The Drill.
Well, we have a following.
Jeff Prosser.
I am incredible.
Dan Hicken.
Well, I have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Put some spring in your step with The Drill.
Because that is what a magical friendship is all about.
Mornings on 1010XL.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com, WM.com, and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's The Mangler. Go Team WM, and as always, Duval!
Wednesday is Free Friday at 1010XL's Restaurant of the Day, John Smith Subs. Experience the thrill of the grill and get free fries with any sandwich purchase all day today. Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs on Hodges at JTB.
I-9 Sports wants to make sure kids all over the First Coast can enjoy growing up on a field or in a gym. And right now, fall and winter registration is open. Find out what I-9 Sports offers across Duval, Clay, and St. John's. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, a paint color namer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Irving Stapler.
Hi, Howie.
So the next round is word association. I'll say a word and you give me the first word you think of. Engagement ring.
Jeweler.
Gas station.
Fueler.
Aaron Burr.
Dueler?
Air conditioning.
Wow. Jeez. It's a toughie.
Come on, Irv. The sponsor's going to kill me now.
Oh, Bueller.
That's right, Irv. If your AC is struggling through the summer heat, the first name you should think of for fast, friendly, 5-star service is Bueller Air and Plumbing. The name to know to make sure you are cool.
Have a beer, Irv.
Cooler.
Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hey, Jaguar friends. I'm Donovan Darius, former 10-year NFL strong safety for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm hosting my free Tackling Technique Jaguars camp for kids ages 10 to 14 on July the 27th. This Jaguar camp will have some of my former Jaguar teammates out there coaching the kids on all the fundamentals that it takes to be a great tackler. To get involved, just go to DariusNextLevelTraining.com to sign up your kids ages 10 to 14. If you'd like to sponsor, you can go to the same website, DariusNextLevelTraining.com.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Hicken here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Jaguars Today
on 1010XL.
I straight up ganked a big spoonful of Tony's chili. My own wasn't enough.
So good. There's
Bro, that's
plenty.
like is it called a trough or a trowel? How do you pronounce that? like what pigs eat out of.
Trough.
Trough?
Yeah.
You look like you get a trough.
I believe.
Of chili and rice right there. Delicious, man. All right, good job, Fan Cam. The tradition continues with the chili breakfast on the first day of training camp. That was today, Tony, for the record, not Thursday. Okay.
Yes. Tomorrow, start your own tradition.
Right. Eat your own breakfast tomorrow. I'll be out there the next couple days. Taking in what I can, because I like to have a little bit of the feel. The way the schedule is, most of these practices are scheduled to wrap up 10:45, 11 o'clock, and to have the show out there, we used to do shows like right field side, but we'd go until like 12:15.
Yeah.
And it worked out beautifully. So, look, again, as long as I can snake through Lot J and get out that and make the left turn, I'm glorious.
Yeah, no doubt.
So Trevor Lawrence got a late start to the podium after
Just
practice.
finished.
Just wrapped up?
Yeah.
Okay, so we may be hearing from Hayes here in a few minutes, so still on time. What do we have? You have something selected here, Dylan, from Trevor. Is that from this morning?
Yeah, he just this was like his first question asked about the contract. You want to play it?
Yeah, why don't you fire that bad boy up?
And it shows the belief that he has in us, and obviously that feels really good as players to have that from the owner and from the organization. And he talked to us as a team the other night, and obviously won't go into everything he said, but just the expectations are high, and they should be around here, especially when he's putting his money, his time, all these things behind it and backing it and really putting a lot into it. He has high expectations for us. We have high expectations for ourselves, and we expect to win. And times now, we've kind of been we've been lingering around a little bit the last couple of years, but this is our opportunity. We need to take advantage of it.
I'm imagining Shad says something like, "We've got to win the Super Bowl, okay?" And I hope you understand. I have more yachts to buy, okay? So don't make these bad investments for me. I wonder what are the secret things that Shad is telling him, Tony, when he says, I'm not going to get into everything that he had to say. Are there some secretive things, or we just don't want to spend the next 15 minutes backing it up? But I feel, no, in all seriousness, it doesn't feel like Shad Khan is so much more of a hands-on guy at this stage, or at least even if he's not there every single day, he's not negotiating every contract. It just feels like he's more of a presence, on these big issues. Obviously, you're not going to sign a guy to a $200 million guaranteed contract without the owner's sign off. But it just does feel like, like he's not a spring chicken, man. He's getting older. He shared a birthday with my man Tony Smith last week, so the calendar turned over again, and want to win now. It's winning time now.
Yeah.
And
there's a learning curve to virtually everything you do in your life. And being an NFL owner, I think there's something to that too. He doesn't have all the connections within the NFL when he comes in to know exactly what he needs to be doing, what he should be looking for in the coach, and who to trust with what. And they've tried a bunch of different things since Shad got here, including bringing Tom Coughlin back. And for a year, it paid back dividends that you couldn't have even possibly expected when they made those moves, right, in that offseason to bring TC in and let him be the guy that's in charge of all the football stuff. He's in charge of football.
And then TC kind of got like, I don't care what these damn NFLPA rules say.
Right. And
it's just what TC tends to do.
It went back to 90s Tom. And it's like, well, it's 2017.
It was a good boost. I fully celebrated the return at the time.
Yeah. And you learn. Right? Shad needed some time to learn exactly what needs to go on within league circles. Well, now all the league circle guys know him, so he at least knows all the guys that are involved in this whole process of being an NFL owner. He's still not a football guy, right? So you don't want him being the one that's making all the football decisions. But the thing that Shad has never been shy about is telling his football guys, you need what? Okay,
I'll get it for you.
Right. Like he's never been shy about being that. And they do have something that they're building right now. Like it's active in the build right now, where for the first time since Shad got here, they got something solid to build on. And he's saying, yeah, let's build the foundation around Josh Hines-Allen and Trevor Lawrence and Tyson Campbell. Like it's been so long since Jacksonville has had 3 guys like that they could pay at all.
That they'd want to pay.
Right. They just haven't had that.
And would want to stay.
It's new territory since Shad has gotten here, but he's never been shy. He said it when the Jalen stuff was going crazy. Shad said the whole time, it felt like he was like, I want to pay him.
Right.
I want to pay him. Like, he's not here because Shad said we can't do it. It's Jalen wanted out. And Yannick wanted out. Right? Like, that's what happened with that. And Allen Robinson wanted out.
Egos run amok.
Right. Like, those are the players making their decision, and that's their prerogative to do those things. But Shad would have paid all those guys.
I'll just say, I saw that the Jags committed the most money of any team. You know, obviously, look, you've got all these extensions, but I believe the number in terms of new money committed this offseason was over $700 million.
Yeah.
You know? So, again, hasn't been cheap. Nor is the time of one Hayes Carline.
Share the stadium.
It's hammer time, Tony. On the Garber Auto Mall hotline here, Hayes Carline joining us from down at the Miller Electric Center. Good morning, Hayes. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you all?
We're excellent. Hey, look, it's day one of training camp. We're not expecting, the double reverse flea flicker to have been installed in the offense, but just give us some day one observations from your point of view.
Yeah, I thought, good first day. Everybody got through it healthy, it appeared, and it looked like they had a pretty good rhythm. Some good, some bad in terms of offensively, defensively. Defense made some nice plays. Tyson Campbell had a nice pass breakup. But, yeah, I think good standard day. And, again, the most important thing is that, it doesn't look like they have any new injury issues coming out of this practice. So, that was a good day. The weather was good. The fans were great. So it was a fun environment. And I think the players really appreciated it. And, so I think they're off and running.
The thing that Doug Pederson had to say today that's got the fans reacting, as it does every time he goes to a microphone, until the answer is actually out there about who is going to be calling plays. When do you expect that any kind of decision in that regard will actually be announced?
If I had to guess, I'd say Wednesday of Dolphins week is when he'll finally, reluctantly, give us that information. I mean, it's going to be Press Taylor. I mean, I don't think there's much of a doubt about that, because I just think if he was going to make the change, I just think he would have already gone ahead and announced it. So I think he realizes he's going to be making, what in some eyes is going to be an unpopular decision, a decision that even ownership has said, they're not going to make for him. But, Shad was pretty clear about, I'd like him to have his hand on the wheel with this, but it's not my decision. It's Doug. And, so I think he's cognizant of all that. But, Doug's a very easygoing guy, compared to NFL head coaches. And, this is a subject that he's been prickly about going all the way back to the combine. So, I think it's going to be Press Taylor. Will he eventually make that formal announcement? I think he will, but I think it's going to come, Wednesday of Miami week.
Yeah, he'll make it because he's going to continue to get asked about it, right? At least on a weekly basis, you would think, Hayes. Got you for a couple of minutes here, and Doug addressed this morning, but from your point of view, Mitch Morse, Eric Armstead, and I know Armstead's not practicing yet, but we feel like this is a pretty talented roster, but having a couple of vets that have had success, and you can throw Gabe Davis in there as well, from winning organizations, teams that are used to going to the playoffs, sometimes making deep playoff runs, how much can that impact this roster?
I think it can impact it. I think the good thing about this roster, I don't think the collapse last season had anything to do with a team that's afraid of success. And you see it in all walks of life in sport. Teams that maybe haven't been there before, they put themselves in a great position because they have talent, and then for whatever reason, they can't handle the success of it. And it's almost like they're afraid of the success. And I don't think the Jaguars I don't think that was the problem last year. And I don't think it's going to be a problem this year, even if they hadn't added the veterans. Now, certainly it helps that Armstead, Morris, and Davis and Savage and Duvernay have that experience. But I think because of 2 years ago, the nucleus of this team, the young players, they know they can win in the tournament. They've done it. So, and they've done it in spectacular fashion. So I don't get a sense that was a missing component. But certainly it's nice to – I just think it kind of fell the right way, that the players that were available that made sense for them came from organizations that had recent success.
What is the best roster battle going on the team right now as training camp begins?
I think it's Jarian Jones versus Ronald Darby for the spot opposite Tyson Campbell. I think that is going to be a fantastic one to watch. Obviously offensive tackle could get interesting, but I have to think for now it's Cam at left and Anton at right, with Walker being the swing. So, I think that corner spot opposite Tyson Campbell, you've got the seasoned veteran and Ronald Darby, who's new here, but certainly has played good football in the league, but is on the back nine of his career. And you've got this third-round rookie in Jarian Jones that just looks phenomenal. And I think they're going to have to get Jarian Jones. I mean, again, it's early and we'll see. But if this continues, you got to get Jarian Jones on the field. And I don't think he can be the nickel, because that's why you signed Savage. So to me, it's that perimeter corner spot opposite Tyson Campbell, I think, is going to be the scorcher.
You planted your flag with Jones very early in the offseason right here on Jaguars Today, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Hayes, what do you and Frank have coming up this afternoon?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking. Well, I got a chance to catch up with Christian Kirk after practice, so we'll have that interview. And obviously Frank was out here taking it all in. So our observations of what we saw in an interview with Christian Kirk coming up on the Franchi Show.
Fantastic, Hammer. We love you, brother. We appreciate your time. As always, I'm sure we'll be calling on you a few times throughout training camp to hop on board.
And I love yous, too.
Love yous, guys. All right, there he goes. The Hammer, Hayes Carline, on the Garber Auto Mall hotline right there for you. All right, Tony, let's take our final time out here and come back and delve into today's Chad and Sandy Real Estate question of the day, as you put it, and I'm paraphrasing, 5 words or less to describe this epic offseason. So we'll get into that coming up as we put a bow on Jaguars Today. Straight ahead on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Food. Sandwiches, subs, yeah, you know what? Maybe today you ate chili for breakfast. It's understandable. But and think about this. As you're heading out, maybe you're going to head out and taking camp this weekend. Bring a cooler with you. Swing into the gate station, right? Get a little of that AC going, and then head to the Fresh Case and indulge yourself on a variety of dandy goodies. Sandwiches, subs, protein packs, gourmet salads, a full line of breakfast items. They've got fruit cups. They got veggie trays. They got just about anything you can imagine for convenient, on-the-go, high-quality food. When I say high quality, they use only the best ingredients, locally sourced as much as possible. And when I talk about they, Dandy and the Anytime Deli line, created by the Thompson family nearly 70 years ago, a Jacksonville family. It's a Jacksonville company. So when you're in Duval and you're hungry, think Dandy. And when you are hungry, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy and do it today.
It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss Wednesday.
On Jaguars Today. Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
When the game's on the line against a huge rival and my first ever SEC game, my teammates and my coaches, they were willing to put it in my hands in that moment. That meant the world to me.
I'm Tim Tebow on 1010XL.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. At my house, we had a feast from Mayport CNC Fisheries with the freshest shrimp around, and it was unbelievable. They also have oysters, scallops, mahi, and so much more. Want to eat like a local? Head to the beach and visit my friends at Mayport CNC Fisheries.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Facing a DUI charge or even a boating under the influence charge?
Well, I'm your man, DUI lawyer Malcolm Anthony at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW. Once again, 285-4LAW.
Hey folks, Curtis Dvorak here. Are you a golfer, a pickleball player, or a concert lover? Well, if you said yes to any of those, join me for the first ever Patriot Games on Saturday, September 21st at the Yards in Ponte Vedra. All proceeds benefit Operation New Uniform, which is a transition training program for service members, veterans, and military spouses. For more information, visit onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org. Hope to see you there.
When you want to be heard, send your opinion to the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
Thank you for believing in me when the bosses didn't give me a chance.
641-1010. No texting and driving. Get your thoughts heard on 1010XL.
Is your roof ready to weather the storm? Don't take chances with your home safety. Schedule a free roof inspection with the experts at Universal Roof and Contracting. Get peace of mind knowing your home is protected from the elements. Save up to $1,250 on your roof replacement, plus flexible financing up to 15 years. Offer expires July 31st. Call 855-ROOF-HELP or click universalroof.com.
License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Craving a cold one? Well, zip into one of the great gate locations you see all over town and pick up a cold Bud Light, or a Natty, or an Ultra. Maybe a 12-pack of the King of Beers, or some cold Coronas. It's all happening at your local gate convenience store. Slide on in today.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for a new or used firearm? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach will get you locked and loaded. New firearms coming in weekly and always looking for used guns. No lines and no waiting. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It has begun.
This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
The clarion call has gone out. Tony reminded me, Hack used to do that for the first day of free agency as well. But as the owner said, Tony, we got to stop the addiction to free agency, right? So it's a training camp staple. Save that one, Dylan. Although I bet we could replicate it if necessary along the way. All right, we got Tyson Campbell speaking today. We'll get a few of those thoughts in before we get out of here today. But making sure, because you're going to hear from Trevor Lawrence, Tyson Campbell all throughout the afternoon. Ryan Nielsen going to speak before practice tomorrow, so you hear that as well. I'll join Tony in the early minutes of the program. But before we get there, let's make sure we give full exposure to the Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day in the form of today's 10-10 take.
10-10 take. Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take. Brought to you by Leonard Truck Accessories.
All right, do you guys have a 5 words or less? I do. Ready to go? Dylan, you got one?
I'll come up with one.
All right, he'll come up with one. This will be well thought out. 5 words or less to describe the offseason for me. And I think this is reflective of what I'm seeing from a lot of people. Business over, time to win. Right? You took care of all the business, right? You took care of the stadium business, the contract business, the free agent business, the draft business. You put it all together. You got a new defensive staff. Business over, time to win. We're not just going to be living off the good feelings that we got from this offseason 2 months into the year. No, you got to hit the ground running this year, Tone.
Yeah, for me, mine would be finally joining the modern NFL.
Oh.
Right? Like, it's been a long time since the Jacksonville Jaguars have been able to find guys, target guys to pay the way that they're paying guys this offseason that wanted to take their money. It's been a long time since the franchise has had that kind of opportunity, and you get the icing on the cake with the deal getting done for the stadium, right, this offseason. On top of that, it's the whole process to me, it feels like this is a team that's been ready to compete for a couple of years, and this offseason is them putting that stamp on it that's saying, yeah, we're ready to go now, right? Which speaks to what you just said with yours, but for me, finally joining the modern NFL.
All right, Dylan, what you got?
We gonna be aight. Everybody was tripping about all these, Josh Allen getting signed and Calvin Ridley leaving, and then we had the stadium. We gonna be aight.
All right, so "aight" was the last word that we got in there, right?
Yeah,
It's it's kind of a combination of two words, but that's okay.
Can you hear me? Can you feel me?
And then he just kept going. I wasn't sure if he thought that all fit under there. We're gonna be aight.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Straight fire. That's I'm limited to 5. Some tone that I see on here. We will reclaim the South. Like it.
Yep.
Best offseason ever from Big Will. Chris, you better watch it, Chris. You make some enemies. Balky has been absolutely cooking, okay?
He's not alone with that response.
No,
today.
he's not. We got one that just simply said masterclass, right? And we know who you're referring to. Here's what Tommy said, basically what I said. Business done. Will results follow? I said time to win. A lot of money spent from Scott. How did that pop up in my timeline? That is, I almost read like, wow. That was weird. We are back, baby. Like it. Translate off-season goodness into championship, says our man Al Stewart. Let's prove everyone wrong. Finally give the fans hope. I'm just reading through these. Solid, but needs secondary help. Eric, trying to make sure we're all level-headed here.
Yeah.
Got the job done from Barry. Couldn't have been better, said Brian. Outstanding. Productive. So, 5 words or less. Sometimes it only takes 1. Great start. Now finish. Like that as well. Greatest offseason in franchise history. You're not alone in stating something like that. Left it all out there, right? They're believing in the future. Better get into the playoffs. Amen. Pumped. That's all finalized. Most productive in franchise history. We are getting it together. Still not over the collapse, said Jason. All right. I get it, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully a playoff berth, the AFC South title will do that for you. Hilton Richards, Bush Drive Rich, don't doubt Duval. I think that getting it done. Hyped LFG. What does that stand for, Tone? LFG.
I don't know what the middle
is that now,
but let's go, I believe, is the outside.
Love football, guys. Love football, guys. All right, so there you go. That's a pretty good sampling of the reaction we got today to today's question of the day. All right, so what are we about? Speaking of reaction, about Tyson Campbell, what's your reaction to being very wealthy and the contract extension that was just bestowed upon you?
I just know God was going to blow my mind. And, he did. And, I was speechless. Today I'm doing better, since, playing football now. So back to reality. And, I'm just so grateful, for God just giving me the opportunity to have a deal like this and grateful enough to have an organization like the Jags just trusting and believing in me. So, I'm going to do my best to, prove that, I'm one of the leaders on this defense and this team and, bring a Super Bowl to Jacksonville.
Snap. Back to reality. Talked to Circe this morning. Gave him kudos for his work as part of the Jaguar throwback hype video.
Any nerves and going back to that particular...
I don't. If there were, they didn't come through, right? But he was very humble. But he's like, oh man, it was easy. I said, no. I said, Cisco and Campbell have some acting chops, man. I thought they did a nice job.
We're good, yeah.
He honestly just raved about what good guys they are and how committed they are to this organization and things like that. And I get it. Cisco doesn't have the long-term deal. Not everyone gets one in the same offseason.
Sure.
But that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, I get the feeling the Jags are done with that for at least this year. Right, with deals getting done, with training camp now underway. So Andre Cisco is going to be playing in a contract year. Let's see what happens for him, right? In his 4th year in the league after the coach that first year basically didn't let him play until the end of the season. You look at that draft now, though.
Draft's solid. We thought at the time this could turn out to be really solid, but if Cisco and Walker Little get extended out of that draft, I mean, if you hit on like 3 guys out of a draft, that's pretty good. They're already above that. You know, they're pushing maybe a half dozen guys that could be significant long-term contributors.
No doubt. And Tyson this morning after practice also just being asked, we've heard the guys that have been extended, especially, you know, Josh Hines-Allen talking about this stuff is one of my memories of the entire offseason. You know, him talking about family and legacy and these things here in Jacksonville. Well, Tyson was asked about what this deal getting done yesterday means for him and his family going forward.
It's a blessing. But at the same time, I'm doing all this to give the glory back to God and to be the best at my position. So, you know, the work doesn't stop. I'm still hungry, still eager, and still trying to be a leader for the young guys to be able to be in a position like this.
Being a leader for the young guys, you're still part of the young guys. You're one of those guys. Yep. And, you know, but the core of this team now, still very young, and you can, again, see a window with some of the key performers locked in right now. And Tyson Campbell talked about what it means to him to be a part of that young Jaguars core.
Yeah, man. We're, you know, yesterday in this whole camp, we're trying to build a standard around here to be an organization that plays in late January and February. So, you know, we're setting a standard and building a winning culture around here.
There is a difference when players are young and when players are on that second contract and the money's big. Like, there's always pressure in the NFL. These guys are always under that pressure. They're always going to get the public scrutiny. That's the job, right? But the money comes with a little bit more of that, right? Like, you are going to be held to an even higher standard than you've already been held to when you're the guy getting paid almost $20 million a year to play that position. There's no room for that. It's not that there's ever room for slip-ups, right? Like, he took plenty of criticism his rookie year about not being able to find the ball in the air. That was a big criticism that he took. He was much better with that in year 2, had to deal with all the injuries last year. He was asked this a few minutes ago, just if he feels like he needs to step up his game now with the extra pressure of that new deal on top of him.
I mean, that's an every year mindset, you know, to get better, even every day, to find something to get better at and to master your skills. So I feel like I always had the work ethic. So, you know, getting better and trying to be better and having ambition is not new to me.
Well, and one more here, so we leave you a little bit still to come this afternoon that you may not have heard from. And there's plenty of Trevor Lawrence coming your way that you haven't heard, so, you know, stick around. Obviously.
And whatever interviews are being done, we know Hayes is talking to Christian Kirk.
Kirk, and all this, you're going to be inundated with this is what you want, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's your Jaguars. It's your hometown team. It's the professional franchise. It's a standard bearer in this market. So you're going to get it right here on 1010XL, no doubt about it. So final thought here for now from Tyson Campbell, and it's going back to that theme of will he use the way last season ended to drive him this year?
You just use it as fuel for the next season. So that's what we're doing. We know we don't want to get back to that place, so we're honing on the little things. I know yesterday Coach Richard said, you know, champions do the ordinary things consistently. So if we could do that and do that each and every day, I feel like we'll be where we want to be.
You don't want to be in October going, man, it's really fueling me. I mean, like, the page turns at a certain point, but it can help you get through some of the dog days of August when it's hot out there. And I get it for you Jaguars who were here playing in the throwback era of the 90s. You know, it's not two-a-days in full pads, but it is what it is for these guys right now, and it still can be a grind at some time. One thing Tom McManus points out, you know, it's not like, you know, when you had the two-a-days, sometimes Coughlin would have the ones versus the twos here or whatever. You had the ones versus ones. And you had it all happening on one field. Now, you know, they'll split them up. So the ones are getting work versus the twos or versus the ones and the second team defense versus the first team offense and vice versa. So there are, you know, some more reps built in to these single practices than they may have had back in the day. But either way, whatever gets you healthy, keeps you healthy into the season, whatever. Look, if they win the championship, the formula will work.
Yep.
Right? I mean, and that's the thing. There are probably different ways to do it. And it's a results-oriented business.
Well, and different guys are motivated by different things, right? Like, I don't necessarily think the whole locker room needs to be locked in on what happened at the end of last season for that to be a huge motivator for a bunch of the guys that experienced it to getting them going into 2024. There's probably a group of guys in that room that are like, it's better for me to move on, right? Like, I don't need to live in that. The better thing for me to do is to move on from those things. Everyone's motivated by different things. We know that. We saw Trevor Lawrence write that note after the end of that 2022 season, and we've never known exactly how that worked with Trevor Lawrence. Like, what does he hear? What does he pay attention to that anybody say? And what he said in that note was, I heard it all. Right? Like, everyone talking about what happened with my rookie year, disappointment, all these things. I heard it all and I used it.
Internalized it.
Right. Like, those kind of, I think there are players that need that kind of thing to use as fuel, and I think there are probably guys that are built different and don't need it necessarily.
Whatever gets you ready,
man. Whatever gets you ready. It's a long, hard job, right, that these guys have to do. It tests you in every way, physically, mentally, spiritually, in a lot of ways, to do the job that these guys do. You got to figure out your own path to figuring out how to do that successfully.
All right, two last notes, Tone, as we wrap up on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Woody says, in the gaming world, LFG stands for looking for group.
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, I love football, guys. That's what I'm going with. I've heard no other possible explanation for what that means. And my sis, J-Paw, now in her response, coming in under the wire here to the Offseason, it was always the Jags.
There we go.
Yes, tie it all together. 5 words can be very powerful for this team. All right, Dylan, let's wrap this thing up.
Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
I'll say the cool down. It wasn't brutally hot out there today. Now I was standing in the shade, but even getting out there, hanging out with Fan Cam and the crew beforehand, something you can eat chili in any weather, right? The craziest thing, right? Yeah. When it's cold, you're like, oh, that's going to be delicious. When it's hot, that's equally delicious. And he did a hell of a batch this year. It's just great to start it back up. It's another step in the progression, right? We've had a fun off season. And again, the results are what really are going to matter here, but it's fun to see the fans come out, see the team in their unis on the field. Training camp this year, we're only 2.5 weeks away from the first preseason game. The season will be here before you know it, and your life will continue to slip through your hands like sands through the hourglass. But whatever the case, man, it's just it's fun to be a small part of this excitement that's building for this team, and we're going to show them. I think the fans are leaning into some of the way the season ended last year in terms of hey, all right, enough. It's course correct right now, and right where we were as the darlings last offseason, that's where the Texans are right now. And as we showed last year, that doesn't guarantee a damn thing.
Nope.
So,
even a hot start doesn't guarantee anything.
That's right. Let's freaking go. That could be what it stands for as well. Possibly. Possibly.
Yeah.
All right. We thank the Hammer Hayes Carline from joining us on the Garber Automall phone lines today for a little quick hitter. Got to bring you some thoughts from Doug Pederson, Trevor Lawrence, and Tyson Campbell. Thanks to the Jags for making them available. Tomorrow, Ryan Nielsen, plus whatever we've got that we didn't get to today. For Tony Smith, excellent job as always. For Dylan Denmark, people, you missed the start of the show. Don't miss it, because we're going to be playing that open for the next week or so, and it was beautiful. It's going to get you fired up. So I'm Mike Dempsey. Thanks for tuning in to Jaguars Today. Helmets and Heels is straight ahead on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
So guess what? 1010 is popping, and there won't be no stopping. Bang, bang, bang.
Awaken 180 weight loss.